Those new honor talents are really, really nice. Like thick as thieves. So Peekaboo, BM hunters already do crazy damage, but Peekaboo actually has tricks of the trade for him as well. So 15% increased damage during like his bestial wrath, as well as the healing reduction. There actually is some synergy in this composition, especially if Peekaboo can basically not make himself a target. If he can just move in and out and just basically empower Jelly Beans and going for a kidney shot, I mean, this is crazy levels of damage.
Jelly Beans is 2 Jawas.
No. We don't do that here.
Yeah.
Like what? Where are the hunters, man? Why aren't there more hunters?
That's a good question. They're all playing jungle.
Apparently they need to get some
so.
rogues.
That's so. All right. Well, Jelly Beans leading the way to victory for Golden Guardians here. Very well done by them. Unfortunately, that's really, really not good for Shadow or Chicken. That means that they have 0 wins so far in this circuit, and there's already 3 days of competition down. So things not looking good for them. They're 0-3 currently. We're gonna get those scores tallied up for the circuit, but. How are we feeling about the North American region, Ben?
We need to be a bit more specific.
I'm feeling like it's kind of wide open at this point. I think there's 3 teams. We'll see it. I think there's 3 teams right now. Unitas, Method NA as well. Actually, OTK is undefeated right now. I feel like they've only played 2 series though. So right now there's 3 teams that are for sure 2-1. OTK is 2-0. So I still feel like this is totally wide open. I mean, obviously there's some teams that unfortunately aren't doing great, and it's going to be a really big struggle for them to make it into the top 4. But I still feel like there's a big contention with like 5-6 teams, and still anything can happen. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow as well, because I think we're going to get some answers for some questions. Like we have OTK versus Method NA. That should be a really, really good series, and we'll see if OTK is prepared for that matchup.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. We're going to have a full day tomorrow as well for you guys. We're going to start off in Europe, and then we're going to end the day in North America, as we always do, and there's the schedule right here. So I'm looking at this schedule. Zico, are there any that you think is going to be as just like one of those really, really close games? Any game 5s do you think we see on the board here?
Oh, game 5s?
Yeah.
Hard to call. I feel like most of these could go to game 5, but I think OTK Method and NA should be a close one.
We really have to be
Cloud9 Golden Guardians.
Cloud9 Golden Guardians definitely has some upset potential there written over it, and yeah, I think Unitas and Hamsters in here as well could easily go to game 5, because it's like most likely RMP mirrors, right? So that could go either way.
It's also, we're talking about score and like where people are currently, and if you look at as well with like the past circuits that we have, sometimes I think it's a bit hard to sort of judge where teams are maybe in like midway through a circuit, just because a team could have gotten bad RNG and had to face some of their toughest competitors.
What am I supposed to do now?
Teams could have faced teams that they could have easily 3-0'd. So, you can look at a score and say, oh, this team's doing really well, this team's doing really bad, but that doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. They could be doing bad and could, turn things around, or they could have just had a couple of teams that they were sort of bound to win in the beginning just because for whatever reason they have better comps against this team or what have you. So it definitely doesn't tell the full story, I think, until we start getting until that, that very, very last weekend. Just like we saw in the circuit for the last season, we saw a lot of teams turn it around last minute as well that were underperforming. Was it Space Station Gaming? Like they were having a really rough season, and they had that really tremendous like last weekend. Does anybody remember that?
Yeah, but it was kind of too little too late. But yeah, they started turning up, and you see some of that as well with some of the players, going Unitas and successfully there. So yeah, I'm definitely curious over that.
Yeah, it's so true, and I think we're definitely seeing that in Unitas. Even though they did not win their game today, I'm still excited for that team. They have a bright circuit in front of them. They're going to be facing, like we just saw, Hamsters and Hares. So let's look at where we are in the standings. OTK 2-0. They only played 1 time last weekend, so kind of another one of those things. Like, are they playing easier teams that they could have 3-0'd, or are they just doing really well? But I think it's a little bit of both. But look at this top 4. I mean, look how close this is.
Hey, okay. So I want you to look at the top 4 and notice the team that isn't in there. So look at Method NA. I promise you, Method NA is going to be looking to strike back. Obviously, they had today off, but I highly doubt. I mean, Method NA if we need a brief history lesson, they've literally been winning everything. They're just winning all the cups, winning the round robin, winning the championship title 2 years in a row. So it's kind of crazy to see them not in that top 4, but that just kind of speaks to the level of competition. And like I said, there's actually, and not including Method NA right now, I want to say there's like a 3-way tie with Cloud9, Golden Guardians, Unitas, and then OTK. They're in first technically, but they still have another matchup to play. And I think the next matchup's going to be a really difficult one.
Yeah, like you said so many times as well. I look at where Method EU was, like three weekends into the circuit. They were well under that top 4 position. So I think this order is going to change around quite a bit, but that is definitely a huge contrast when you look at the European region and how solid they are over there, skill capped as well as Method EU, just rock solid.
Welcome,
those 2 teams,
friend.
and it's really like that 3rd and 4th position Subtees that everybody's going to be fighting for.
Yeah, it seems like there's a much more distinct line too of the top 2.
Yeah.
I felt like Reload Esports and Creed was like somewhat challenging that top 2 before, but now it feels like they've fallen off quite hard. So throughout the circuit, they're gonna have to power up if they really want to have a good showing in the top 4 later on in Europe.
Yeah, and I love round robins. I love these circuits. It's so exciting to see every team have the opportunity to face every team sort of on a clean slate, and get an opportunity to see just how teams sort of develop over the course of these cups. So that's going to wrap everything up for us. We have a bye weekend next weekend. There is no AWC. We're coming back the next weekend after that. If you guys want more information on scheduling and other stuff like that, you can head over to the WoW Esports Twitter. There's lots of information constantly being put out over there, and we're going to be continuing. You can see out below us. We're on Sunday as well, of course. I don't know why I was wrapping up like it was Sunday.
Stoneborn honor guard brought it to an end.
We have a full day of games tomorrow, of course. So head over to WoW Esports on Twitter. You can not miss any of that information. You can also subscribe here and hit that notification button.
What is it?
The action. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, youtube.com/worldpack.
You shall regret this betrayal soon enough.
Guys, should we be worried about him?
It's not my fault he can't take a joke. So, where are we headed?
Up and inside, where the squeezers are taken for processing.
Continues tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Wait, what? Central? Well, that's not Central. That, I know what time that is. The EST?
You are late. We have anima in need of extraction, and the stone right is occupied. Begin the process, and be quick about it.
Right. Off we go then. Hi. Hey,
So,
you a
how
lively
exactly
one.
does this work?
Well, you see, the fangs make a face what put them in Reverend Rat.
Tell me about the bad stuff you did, or else.
Never!
Not quite. This place is about wrath, eh? Anger.
Right. Sassy Spriggans. Greedy, grove-killing thrust. Theory chewing corn.
Not yours.
Oh, that makes much more sense.
Right. Let's give it another go.
What can I do for you? So, tell me about
He's running Siphene, and Siphene actually got buffed up recently, so it's much more difficult to kill. If they don't target Zuniaki, I actually don't know if anyone on the team can even kill it. Oh no, that life grip got pinned down, and now Thestia's in a ton of trouble. Alter time, trying to soak up the damage and heal himself back up here and recover, managing to survive throughout the initial attack, but they swap over to Zuniaki. Big swap! Big power play, and that fade from Zuniaki immune to the chain harvest that killed Waz in the last game, but now the setup onto Trend, isolating him with a silence on the bottom.
Well, I think we had a breakthrough. Good session.
Done so soon. Impressive.
Beautifully done. Maybe they could punish Cassidy here. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Rake's done
1-1, and Integrity Damp has yet to win a game in this series, so both of them really needing these points. Both of them are really fighting hard, but at the moment it seems like
any one of these matchups that they're going to have.
He's going to use his stone form racial right there to remove that. Now Maru's getting pinned down here. Big heals coming out.
Buffs up the damage of his Ret Paladin by quite a lot, so this Divine Toll from Mystic, I'm wondering if he's running the Divine Toll Legendary too or not. Maybe they go for an all-in Judgment KO. That's basically what really...
Well, with
I did, yeah.
crew, obviously.
I'm happy I did.
Interrogating them
I'm glad I did
trespassers
too.
makes a
But
mighty mess, doesn't it?
Then you will have no shortage of work. I have never seen the Stone Right so furious.
You're a special one, aren't you? No, we have to hurry.
Well, you're pretty good at this gig, Miss Wings.
Meh, the dead mother trope is such lazy writing.
Boy, that coward one has definitely seen the Stone Right.
Get on with it. She threatened to throw him into the maw. Better him than me.
The more? Well, we better beat feet if we want to save this bloke. Come on! We gotta be close now. We're running out of realm.
Look, there's home.
What does your master seek, Dreadlord? Answer me!
Please, there has been a terrible misunderstanding.
Oh, more of your wretched kind? I will see you all myself!
Big damage connects with the Dragon Crest on the clumsy, and they do it! Draining the swap to. Oh no, the miracle swap from Method EU! They're gonna close it out!
Hello everybody and welcome back. We are all finished up with the European region and now we are heading into the second half of the day in North America. The first sub-series that we have coming up here. We've got OTK and then we've got Hamsters and Hares, and then for the rest of the day we can take a look at these games. This is a lot of logos on your screen here, but I can just read it out for you guys. Afterwards we've got Cloud9 versus Unitas Blue, and then Golden Guardians versus Shadow Word Chicken. Ven, any match that you're particularly excited about?
I'd say the match I'm most excited about is Unitas Blue versus Cloud9. Unitas Blue has been on the upswing. They're looking incredibly good. They were able to beat Method North America. Right now they're sitting at 2-0 in the round robin. If they could beat Cloud9, then I feel like that would be I mean, they've already made a huge statement, but this would be a massive statement. And I think it would basically secure their position in the top 4. Obviously not a guarantee, but if you've already beaten Method NA, you've beaten Cloud9, you're 3-0. I feel like they could be the first team that, you know, is looking super solid from North America to make it. So high stakes in that game.
I have many
You're absolutely right. I mean, Unitas, like we've talked about it so much, but I'm going to bring it up again. If this is your first time watching AWC here within this circuit, these guys really didn't do that well at all last season, last circuit, and now they've just completely turned it around. They've really put that work in, and it's definitely showing here in the competition. But I mean, there's some big names coming up here, some big matches. Everybody on that right side, I feel like has some tough games ahead of them, Super Tees.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're going to be the underdogs, right? Like OTK, Cloud9, Golden Guardians, like these are the big names, right? So you got the story of the underdogs, David versus Goliath, really for North America here today. Can the Titans be trumped? And this first series is really going to kind of kick things off, and it will be the Rogue Mage Paladin, Roasty's Floor Mat, and Novos going up against OTK's Windwalker Warrior Restoration Shaman. Remember, WizK got clocked.
We're gonna one-shot everybody.
It does an explosive amount of damage. So let's see where OTK look to allocate it here early on.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see, and it's going to be double Necrolord, and then, of course, Mez is going to be playing Kyrian. So that Kyrian is going to allow them to basically pin one member down, and Trill is going to be able to unleash his damage. But like I said, if there's any composition that's good at killing a Windwalker Monk, it's the Fire Mage Rogue Paladin. You have Blessing of Protection for the Karma. You have a Kidney Shot to lock down the Monk during all this mobility. Looks like they're going to be starting off onto Novos right away. Don't want to allow them to get a perfect opener, and that's going to deny the initial sap as long as they can stay in combat. So Novos and Format kind of realizing their error. They got a little bit too close, but I think OTK is going to be more than happy to just make a little bit of a push here with a beautiful Spear of Bastion, a full blind onto Sea-Doo, Kidney Shot onto Trill. Let's see how they decide to open up. Right now, Trill could be in some trouble. There's the Kidney Shot into the Cheap Shot. It's a Trinket, it's a Karma. Are we going to see a Blessing of Protection? No, we're not. Actually, just a little bit too late. Sea-Doo on the run. Trill able to use the Fleshcraft as well as his Transcendence to get behind the pillar, but Trill has traded out in a huge way.
Nice defense from Trill, though. They didn't have to trade out Sea-Doo's Trinket, which I think is more valuable, because if Sea-Doo Trinkets, they have Mez, you know, with the anti-magic zone to shut down any swaps to Sea-Doo, but with this comp, it's a little bit more tricky. You can't really shut down the combustion, you have to Queen War Banner or something like that, so Sea-Doo gets to sit through all the crowd control. Trill, with great defense, is able to survive. He didn't have to trade out everything, and there is a smoke bomb, so that is an opportunity now with Roasties. Getting swapped through here, nice double leg sweep on the format. They're going to use Blessing of Protection there on that leg sweep, and Trill is just going to go back with Sea-Doo. And the reason for this is because of that smoke bomb. If he's stacked with Sea-Doo, Sea-Doo can help him, but if he's standing out in the open, he can just die in a smoke bomb, and Sea-Doo can't do much about it. Kidney comes on the Trill. Trill is going to survive it, intervene from Maz, and now once again looking to get aggressive here onto Roasties.
Oh my! One shot!
Big push onto Roasties. That's going to be the sacrifice coming out from Novos.
Big trade. Novos is going to make it, though. His mana's not looking too great at this point. Floor Mat getting cracked by Mez at the moment as well. Novos took a ton of redirected damage. He's still trying to recover from that sacrifice. Floor Mat now the target, getting floored at the moment, trying to blink back into center field, but that Zwen is tearing in along with the Earth Elemental. Trill getting set up on in a Kidney Shot.
I can't wait to see his damage.
Flesh crafting to try and immune power.
Fucking insane, bro.
The Hammer of Justice. Now it looks like he's got a blinding light, but there's no more lockdown. Trill has managed to escape. That was great deflection by Sea-Doo to avoid crowd control, totally shutting out hamsters and hares. Now Roasties pulls away from the fight, flesh crafting and re-stealthing and trying to find his target. There's no trinket for 10 seconds. An opportunity for a Kidney Shot Vendetta smoke bomb, but Roasties gets intercepted, caught in a leg sweep. That flesh craft is soaking up the hits. They need to go for the smoke bomb. 2 more seconds to the medallion. They're not finding that window of opportunity. Are they just going to go for it? Here's the Kidney Shot. Vendetta is going to be popped. They need to get ready to trade. Trill is trying to be greedy, but has to ultimately trinket and trade. Rolling out of range of the shackles from Novos, interrupting them. Good play by Trill. Fair, more than a fair trade. However, Combustion is still available, and there's no trinket. Tricks of the trade, smoke bomb with Combust could easily still be the end of the game. Roasties repositions. He knows where the checkmate position is. Gets caught behind the pillar by Sea-Doo, though. This Earth Grab Totem roots Roasties, preventing him from re-stealthing while Floor Mat's getting devastated. That Earth Grab was huge value. They're just owning Floor Mat. In the meantime, they proc the pod. I gotta say, like, that was a minor play by Sea-Doo to get that root, but it got all the cooldowns, and they're gonna kill Floor Mat as a result. If Roasties was able to re-stealth, get back into the fight, and go for a smoke bomb, it might have been the end of the game. So even just something as small as an Earth Grab Totem allows Mez and Trill to get the kill.
I mean, it was a ton of damage, but I feel like Roasties, he had tools to get out of that, right? Like, he had Cloak of Shadows. He could have just gotten himself out of that. You don't really get too much value in that matchup anyways with that, so maybe being there a little bit faster to help out his team definitely could have helped, but a sick play there by Sea-Doo. OTK claims game number 1 with kind of unrelenting pressure and good defense. It was just not overlapping your cooldowns. Everyone's making the appropriate trades, and when you do that, it can become hard for the Rogue Mage Paladin to actually find an opening. It's when people panic and overlap. That's when they can really kind of pounce and make a big push.
Yeah, and we're going to see it right here. I mean, a little bit before that here, they do that big push onto Trill. He's trying to hold on to his trinket, but he just can't. They get the cheap. Is this in the opener, actually? Yeah, this is in the start, I believe, where they almost killed Trill in that first setup. And here, Trill just outranges those shackles. So important here that he gets that, because that allows Sea-Doo to hold on to his trinket. Then here is that second kidney shot. They're stacked up here, and then I believe this is where they get the Stormbolt on Roasties, where he almost dies. Yeah, so here, spinning crane kick, proc with the Zwan, with the Stormbolt. They get the sacrifice right there from Novos. And Novos here, and he doesn't use his divine protection. You see that? The 20% damage reduction. So he's just getting farmed by his sacrifice dot. But you usually see like people like Brain and stuff like that always use that divine protection.
Oh, this matches this armor fucking quite well.
They're not a target, so you can tell Novos maybe not super experienced yet on that Paladin. There's Sea-Doo's grounding totem as well on that Hammer of Justice. And then here, I believe this is the final moments of the game. They get the nice war banner right there is what saves Trill here from basically dying on the setup. And again, Trill outranging the shackles from Novos right there with his roll. And then they push forward here to find the momentum. Vormat gets purged here by Sea-Doo on his altar time. And then they pin him down with the Kyrian Spear right there. And spinning Crane Kick procs. They proc the Ice Block. Then they remove it to the Shattering Throw. Full Stormbolt. Vormat should have trinketed it, but he didn't want to because of the Kyrian Spear. And then here they proc the Seed and the Cauterize. And they're able to kill it. Roasties, like you guys already mentioned, just took too long there behind the pillar, being rooted while Sea-Doo was just purging his mage, and Mez was getting a Shattering Throw that wasn't getting stopped and things like that. If he stops that Shattering Throw, his mage doesn't die at least. Maybe it still wasn't looking great for them in terms of winning the game, but they didn't have to die like that at least.
OTK.
That one matches too.
Best of 5 series. First series as well for North America. OTK starting off very, very strong. I love seeing Mez on that warrior as well, like something they're kind of recently adapting quite a bit. It's for sure paying off for them as well, Ben.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right now, you don't see Death Knights very often, but you see a lot of warriors. And this composition in particular is strong for a couple different reasons. It's like I mentioned, for Windwalker Monks, you do unbelievable amounts of damage, but your defense is a bit lackluster. You're vulnerable when you get caught in stuns, but the warrior helps. He can intervene, he can Stormbolt, he has the banner. Like, there's just a lot of utility, a lot of defensive utility that warriors have available to help you out, and you can stay alive. And OTK discovered this, and they've been basically practicing this composition nonstop so far. It's worked out great for them on Hook Point. I'm really surprised to see this. I feel like Hook Point could backfire here for Hamsters and Hares, but the idea here is Bez doesn't have as much room to run, to hide, but at the same time, it's going to be really difficult for Floor Mat. If he gets caught in a position where they have momentum, it's going to be basically impossible for him to recover. So Hamsters and Hares, their offense is going to have to be really good in this match from start to finish.
Not a lot of room for mistakes when you're playing up against a team like OTK. If you look at the match record as well between these two teams, OTK won 3-1 against Hamsters and Hares last season, back when they were playing with Zach, when they had that RM Pala composition. They've actually only played one time as well within this expansion between the two of these teams, and it was OTK that did win 3-1. So these guys are kind of up against a lot here on the side of Hamsters and Hares, especially as they're kind of adapting to Novos being on their team. Novos with the IKEA chair. You guys recognize that chair, or am I just weird?
I think I've seen it before.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has that one. It's really popular. It's a really good option.
You know what I've seen? Sea-Doo and Novos competing. But, you know, like a decade ago. Seeing them against each other, you know, now in 2021, that's something.
Yeah.
A lot of experience between these two players.
Nostalgia tripping right now.
Yeah, I am. This is the AWC, okay? And this is Sea-Doo versus Novos. There's a lot of history, okay? They're both shaman mains, okay? Everybody looked up to these guys back in the days.
You're being so defensive.
if Classic WoW progresses, right? If Classic WoW keeps progressing, maybe we see them redo all the same things they've done. Ooh. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be awesome.
Did he compete? Did Novos compete in the cat tournament?
Not the TBC.
I don't think so. No.
Right, well, anyways, game number 2. Go ahead.
All right, here we go.
All right, well. Yeah. Looks like Trill will be positioning, and this is one of the most important parts of the match. It may not seem like it, but your opener is just so important in how you deny the opener. So Trill right away goes for a paralyze into a Spear of Bastion. Kidney shot on Trill immediately with a blind on Sea-Doo, so they are looking to get aggressive. Trill just trinkets, trades out the Karma, trades out the Diffuse, and uses the Transcendence to escape. Sea-Doo holds on to the trinket, and it's a fair trade for the blind. So it actually puts him ahead because he didn't have to trinket the blind. So I would say this is actually a pretty good start as long as Trill can survive. He's trying to just kite, avoid damage with Fists of Fury. Now that Sea-Doo's out of crowd control, Trill and Mez can get really aggressive here on floor mat.
Yeah, but they didn't pop the Vendetta, and here we go. Vendetta smoke bomb. This is a big He might just outright die here. Trill gets double shackled, but Sea-Doo snipes the Spirit Link Totem. Mez is there to protect him with that big intervene. Double leg sweep here. Trill now getting aggressive. He knows they don't have much defense. He needs to get something offensive, and that will do it. Trill gets a massive spinning crane kick right there. Oh my goodness. Floor mat now as well getting absolutely demolished here, but Trill needs to be careful. Kidney shot is off cooldown. Floor mat super dangerously low here. Novos trying to greet the sacrifice, goes for Flash of Life, gets it. Trill in a kidney shot, taking a lot of damage. Sea-Doo's there with the Ascendance, topping up his teammate, but that was the Earthen Wall. That's a lot of cooldowns from both sides. No CC here, actually no way out from this Stormball, from this pin right here, from the Curian Spear. Floor mat now gets the sacrifice from Novos. Novos can take a lot of damage. He should use...
Dude, tell me my dude doesn't look sick.
He's gonna be not having to heal as much, save a lot of mana, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to...
I gotta get the right mount.
Yet. Wants to hold on to it. Going to be able to keep himself up.
Buy no Drake for sure.
As well, but that is a lot of force from the side of Hamsters of Hairs. And I don't know, like Trill, if he gets another spinning cranky like that, it could just be over. But here is a big opportunity. Kidney shot, and every cooldown is ready, but they're not pressing them. You don't want to commit the Vendetta or the Combustion right there.
It was because Sea-Doo flesh crafted. He was immune to CC, but now it's the turnaround. Insane damage on the floor mat, cracking the ice block and almost taking him out. Paralyzing Novos, maybe they can. Trill is on target. If he gets a proc here, look for the spinning crane kick. If that goes down, you know floor mat's in trouble. They might not even need it. Fists of Fury are flying during the Spear of Bastion. Floor mat gets pinned on his soul shape, pinned on it again. Rising Sun kick after rising Sun kick, and they've procced the pod. OTK are gonna do it. Complete devastation. Sea-Doo is playing on fire so far in this series, just shutting out Hamsters and Hairs constantly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think what this matchup comes down to is OTK is just so prepared defensively. They are just not making mistakes. I mean, we've seen in the past with Trill and Sea-Doo that sometimes, you know, their defensive cooldown overlap gets the best of them, and in these panic moments where Trill's under a lot of pressure, they end up overlapping cooldowns. But that just hasn't been the case recently, and it's just every single time they know exactly who's going to respond to which situation, and it makes it really difficult for Hamsters and Hairs to actually find those openings in the match. And it's really important, because if Trill can stay alive, Mez throughout the entire game is putting out devastating amounts of damage, but if Trill can stay alive, get to this point where he's getting, you know, his seconds went up, it's a really scary part of the game for Hamsters and Hairs.
Yeah, and this was a scary part of the game for OTK. But they do live, they make the trade, and then floor mat here gets pinned down here by the Curian Spear, and he blinks. He actually is able to survive here, the sacrifice coming through, and the shifting power. Floor mat is able to barely stay alive with that sacrifice, but here, if you look at the cooldown now, this is the checkmate position. There's no Blessing of Protection, there's no sacrifice, and Roasties is no trinket. So Roasties, great target, they swap over to him. They don't have, you know, big Windwalker damage necessarily, but it's still, you know, a possibility that they will just delete Roasties, and that's something Hamsters and Hair have to be ready for. So here, Sea-Doo flesh crafted the incoming crowd control here, and this is why they don't actually commit their cooldowns. And then Sea-Doo gets Hammer of Justice, and I believe Sea-Doo actually does trinket here eventually. They get a double leg sweep, spinning crane kick, and look at this pre-shattering throw by Mez. So nice there by Mez. He gets the ice block, they get the cauterize proc, and they continue the chain with the paralyze onto Novos, and they reconnect here onto floor mat, and they pin him down here with a Curian Spear snipe from Mez once again. Sea-Doo drops down the Earthen Wall Totem and trinkets out of the blind because he knows his team is getting offensive. He wants to purge. Trinkets, throws out a couple of purges. They proc the seed, and they take it out.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. OTK doing so well in this series, having a couple of pretty clean games here. And in game number 3, Hamsters and Hares, you can bet a little stressed out right now. They've got to figure something out for this game number 3 because at the moment, Super Tees is really not looking good. What would you like to see them do and adapt in game number 3 in hopes of potentially getting a win on the board here for this series?
They're going to Empyrean Domain, so maybe they're gonna do a Wizard Cleave. Do they have that as an option anymore on their team? They could play Belito Ellie and try to play Ellie Mage, Holy Paladin. I know that OTK has struggled obviously with spellcasters in the past, so the fact that they're going to Empyrean Domain makes me think they want to get Roasties off of Rogue. Maybe they even go Warrior Mage and just try and drink more with Novos and play Warrior Mage Paladin. But I could see Ellie Mage here being a possibility.
Okay. All right. If we do see that, then how do we want... I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to ask this question until we see OTK lock in their composition. With this comp, if they decide to lock in that comp that you're talking about, Super T's, what can OTK do against that?
I think it's the same thing. You're probably just tunneling the mage, dropping Spear of Bastion, bursting down with Spinning Crane Kick. The only thing is you're going to have an Ellie Shaman behind your shoulder, constantly lobbing in Lava Burst. So you got to pay attention to the Primordial Wave, which is like this little green blob that's going to shoot out from the Elemental Shaman. Then it's going to duplicate a ton of Lava Bursts, and you're just going to get absolutely dropped when that happens. So if you have Save the Grounding Totem, Diffuse, you have a cooldown ready for it, you're going to be able to survive it. But Hamsters and Hares is the first time we've seen them kind of switch off, I think. I feel like they've only played Rogue Mage Paladin so far in Season 2 with Novos on the team. So now they're going to have to test their flexibility. At least it looks like they could be doing that. Obviously, they could just pick Rogue Mage Paladin again. I can't imagine that they want to, mostly because Novos is mana. He was out of mana even at the end of the game when Floormat ended up dying. So picking something else like a Spellcaster Cleave has historically been a good option into OTK as a team in general. But they're really taking their time. So this does make me think that they're questioning whether or not they should change their comp.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, a lot of teams really, when they're stuck in a sticky situation, they like to use that full 2 minutes, as we're seeing Hamsters and Hares doing right here. They're really cutting it close, only about 30 seconds left. So definitely wonder what they're discussing right here. But I mean, I hope they come up with something, because it is not looking good for them so far in this series, and they really need to get those points in if they want to get into that top 4 spot securely, because at the moment OTK in terms of points is looking really solid. I feel like this entire season so far, I mean, I know this is only weekend number 2, Zico, but OTK is really clean, has some really clean games.
Absolutely. They've been on fire, and they're practicing meta stuff, and you know, they've been a team to beat so far. So for them, it's been a nice trend. For Hamsters and Hares, I actually expect some Rogue Mage action. I think what they're talking about is the strats, because I don't think this is like an impossible matchup for Rogue Mage. I think maybe in the start, when they go after Trill, maybe they should actually try to like sap Trill, Sheep Shot Maz, or like Dragon's Breath him, and then go after Sea-Doo and pop all their cooldowns, because Sea-Doo's always sitting through the blinds. So if they do that and then they smoke bomb Trill later, then they have an opening where they can just end the game with a blind. They have some, yeah. I don't mind the matchup. Let's be honest. They're not losing because of the comp. They're losing because OTK is just a better team right now. Like OTK is doing perfect defensives, rotations. Their offense is insane. Windwalkers are pretty insane as well. I mean, let's not lie here. And also. Their pushes. They're super coordinated. Like they never push at like a dangerous time. They always push when they can. You know, you never see them like overextend anywhere. So OTK, they're just a cleaner team right now.
There's kind of 2 positions you can be in as a losing team. You're either, not playing as well as the team that you're up against, or you just don't have the right answer. You don't have the right composition for whatever that other team is bringing out onto the table. Then which of those situations would you rather be in? What do you think is worse as a player?
That's a tough question, right? It's not a good feeling to feel like, oh, I'm playing amazing and I'm losing anyways just because they have a better comp.
Yeah.
But it's also not a good feeling to be like, oh, these guys are just way better than me. So I mean, the second one I guess is at least like you're facing reality, I suppose. So But the thing is, like, these teams can adapt, right? Like, we
Yeah.
can see some cleaner games coming in, Hamsters and Hares. I think they just have to work on their aggression. They have to really mix it up. It's basically an outright disaster if at the beginning of the game you commit basically everything, including your blind, and Seedu can just sit it. Then you just know you're already in a really bad spot. And honestly, I feel like Hamsters and Harris might be able to actually make some swaps happen on Seedu. Like, really mix it up, go after Seedu with some kidney shots, keep them guessing a little bit in the match, and just make it not so obvious. I think at this point, it's painfully obvious OTK is prepared for them to go after Trill. So unless they mix it up, I feel like OTK is going to be looking good for a clean 3-0.
Let's see it here. If Robinson in this, so if they sap Seedu or open on Seedu, Dragon's Breath, they're gonna go after Seedu. There's the Ring of Frost. This is what I'm talking about. There's no way Seedu can sit through this. He might just go down in the opening. What are they gonna do?
Oh my god.
He sits through it. Okay, never mind. Seedu's just gonna sit through that, and he's just gonna brush that off. He's not even gonna trade Astral Shift. He's just gonna drop a Spirit Link there, walk that one off like it's nothing, and then he's gonna heal up Trill here. And Gormat on the other hand, he's not walking anything off his trade. He's triggering it right away on that Stormbolt. There's the Alpha Cat. Gormat still taking massive damage here, but finally is able to escape with those links still down to 50% though. Going behind the pillar in a dangerous position. If they go on him, he could just have to use his trinket. He will pull back. Actually, no. You get a sheep to Seedu, but a leg sweep onto Roasties. Beautiful protection here by Trill. Nice Ring of Peace. Coming. Okay. Never mind.
I don't know if this is going to work going after Seedu at this point. They're still sitting on Vendetta. They're still sitting on Blind. So a lot of cooldowns left in their arsenal, but they're running out of time. Roasties is getting punished. Absolutely clocked. OTK taking 3-0. I don't even think Seedu was expecting that, but I bet he's happy about it.
I'm gonna be honest. Seedu is used to that at this point. Like, game's over. We won. Like, that happens quite often. I'm actually curious to see exactly what happened in those final moments, but crazy pressure, and apparently OTK was ready to go after for them to go after Seedu as well. I mean, it's not that surprising that he didn't have to trinket in the opener. I'm pretty sure he had like the
Trill, Sheep Shot, Maz, or like Dragon's Breath in, and go after Seedu and pop all their cooldowns.
What the fuck is going on my screen?
If they do that and then they smoke bomb Trill later, then they have an opening where they can just end the game with a blind. They have some, yeah. I don't mind the matchup. Let's be honest, they're not losing because of the comp. They're losing because OTK is just a better team. Like OTK is doing perfect defensives, rotations. Their offense is insane. Windwalkers are pretty insane as well. I mean, let's not lie here. And also, their pushes, they're super coordinated. Like they never push at like a dangerous time. They always push when they can. You never see them like overextend anywhere. So OTK, they're just a cleaner team right now.
Send forth the cascade. There's kind of two positions you can be in as a losing team. You're either, not playing as well as the team that you're up against, so you just don't have the right answer. You don't have the right composition for whatever that other team is bringing out onto the table. Then, which of those situations would you rather be in? What do you think is worse as a player?
That's a tough question, right? It's not a good feeling to feel like, oh, I'm playing amazing and I'm losing anyways just because they have a better comp.
Yeah.
But it's also not a good feeling to be like, oh, these guys are just way better than me. So I mean, the second one I guess is at least like you're facing reality, I suppose. So but the thing is, like, these teams can adapt, right? Like we can see some cleaner games coming in from Hamsters and Hares. I think they just have to work on their aggression. They have to really mix it up. It's basically an outright disaster if at the beginning of the game you commit basically everything, including your blind, and Seedu can just sit it. Then you just know you're already in a really bad spot. And honestly, I feel like Hamsters and Hares might be able to actually make some swaps happen on Seedu. Like, really mix it up, go after Seedu with some kidney shots, keep them guessing a little bit in the match, and just make it not so obvious. I think at this point, it's painfully obvious OTK is prepared for them to go after Trill. So unless they mix it up, I feel like OTK is going to be looking good for a clean 3-0.
Let's see it here. If Robinson in this, so if they sap Seedu or open on Seedu, Dragon's Breath, they're gonna go after Seedu. There's the Ring of Frost. This is what I'm talking about. There's no way Seedu can sit through this. He might just go down in the opening here. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna trade? He sits through it. Okay, never mind. Seedu's just gonna sit through that, and he's just gonna brush that off. He's not even gonna trade Astral Shift. He's just gonna drop a Spirit Link there, walk that one off like it's nothing. And then he's gonna heal up Trill here. And Gormath on the other end, he's not walking anything off his trade. He's trinket right away on that Stormbolt. There's the alter time. Gormath still taking massive damage here, but finally is able to escape with those wings still down to 50% though. Rose is behind the pillar in a dangerous position. If they go on him, he could just have to use his trinket. He will pull back. Actually, no. They get a sheep onto Mez. They get a kidney shot onto Sea-Doo, but a leg sweep onto Roasties. Beautiful protection here by Trill. Nice ring of peace coming. Okay. Never mind.
I don't know if this is going to work going after Sea-Doo at this point. They're still sitting on Vendetta. They're still sitting on Blind. So a lot of cooldowns left in their arsenal, but they're running out of time. Roasties is getting punished. Absolutely clocked. OTK taking 3-0. I don't even think Sea-Doo.
There's the Ring of Frost. This is what I'm talking about. There's no way Sea-Doo can sit through this. He might just go down in the opening. What are they going to do?
Link.
What are they going to trade? He sits through it. Okay, never mind. Sea-Doo's just gonna sit through that, and he's just gonna brush that off. He's not even gonna trade Astral Shift. He's just gonna drop a Spirit Link there, walk that one off like it's nothing. And
I gotta see what happens to Roasties here.
Gormath on the other end, he's not walking anything off his trade. He's trinket right away on that Stormbolt. There's the alter time. Gormath still taking massive damage here, but finally is able to escape with those wings still down to 50% though. Roast is behind the pillar in a dangerous position. If they go on him, he could just have to use his trinket. He will pull back.
Got his Wind Tiger out.
He's got a kidney shot onto Sea-Doo, but a leg sweep onto Roasties. Beautiful protection here by Trill. Nice ring of peace coming. Okay. Never mind.
I don't know if this is going to work going after Sea-Doo at this point. They're still sitting on Vendetta. They're still sitting on Blind. So a lot of cooldowns left in their arsenal, but they're running out of time.
Oh my.
Punished. Absolutely clocked. OTK taking 3-0. I don't even think Sea-Doo was expecting that, but I bet he's happy about it.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. Sea-Doo is used to that at this point. Like, oh, game's over. We won. Like, that happens quite often. I'm actually curious to see exactly what happened in those final moments, but crazy pressure. And apparently, OTK was ready to go after for them to go after Sea-Doo as well. I mean, it's not that surprising that he didn't have to trinket in the opener. I'm pretty sure he had like a 40,000 Fleshcraft absorb, so it's a lot of effective HP you have that you have to kind of push through. However, I feel like if they had actually committed everything, they commit Vendetta and Combustion, it would have actually been the cooldowns from Sea-Doo, but I think they had to try to punish as much as they could. This Combustion, you can see just how low Sea-Doo is getting, and he ends up getting off the cooldowns, he gets on the Spirit Link Totem, and he ends up surviving. But yeah, Sea-Doo, outside of this moment, was really not scared in this match.
Yeah, I think we should have definitely committed to the Vendetta right there, because they needed that opening, because that's what starts off the game for them. If they get Sea-Doo's Trinket and they still have Blind, that's when they can set up a checkmate onto Trill. But yeah, they get another kidney shot here, and this is he took a
round 56.
Holds,
oh baby!
Holds his leg sweep, doesn't want to use it here. There's a feint onto Roasty, and he just goes back. Leg sweeps him now. Summons his Tiger. There's a bunch of damage here. Fist of Fury, just trying to build up counter pressure. Ring of Peace. Just bouncing some heals here, bouncing Roasties as well, and then they get the spinning crane kick. They top Roasties. Roasties feels kind of confident here, and then here he just dies. Like, how does he actually just die here? Okay, yeah, he like Trill just he blackout kicked him there, and Rising Sun kicked him. He, like, Rising Sun kicked him, blackout kicked him, and then he got executed.
Yeah. That was just a bit of greed from Roasties, being out of position for a little bit too long, I think, because looking back at the replay, they had answers, and that wasn't like the craziest thing I've ever seen. You know, that's not Wiz K falling over in 1 second. That was like a pretty chill. All things considered, right now, that was pretty chill for Roasties. I feel like they had time to react.
Yeah, when you're facing a monk, that was pretty chill.
All right, so last week with Trill on his Windwalker, it was spin to win.
You can transmog shoulders separately? The fuck?
Yeah.
Wow. Hulk smash.
Like, Warriors were the original spin to win.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Windwalkers take everything from Warriors. They got their improved hamstring. They got their spin to win now. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like Blizzard brings in new classes and they just like yoink abilities and give them to the new classes.
As a Windwalker monk, I feel a bit attacked right now on the desk. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
is that your new main then? You no longer identify as a mage main?
you know, I have two classes. I have two mains. You know, it's like picking your favorite child. You can't do it. You know what I mean?
I get it. Totally understand. Well, it's OTK.
I can pick my favorite child.
Definitely unfortunate for Hamsters and
No
Hares.
problem.
We've got another chance tomorrow. They're up against Unitas Blue, but we know how well that team has been doing. So
Kind of want these shoulders, but the problem is there's no.
But next up, speaking of Unitas Blue, they are going to be facing off against Cloud9. I don't know about you guys. I'm really excited for this one. Unitas Blue has really been stepping up to the plate for this circuit, and Cloud9, Zico, is really going to be where they can prove themselves.
I feel like this is where Unitas can prove themselves. Cloud9, I feel like they...
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. For Unitas, they started off hot. They beat Method NA, then they got their 2-0, and now, if they beat Cloud9, this is just the perfect season for them. Like, they've already beaten all the Titans then at that point, and they just have kind of smooth sailing to the qualifications and everything. So this is really, everything for Unitas and for Cloud9. I mean, this is their chance to, dethrone Unitas here and actually take that top spot.
Okay, go ahead, Ben.
Born Good messaged me something yesterday. He said something along the lines of, "We will make the meta tomorrow." So we'll see. Maybe they have some surprises.
We will make the meta. Okay, I can't wait to find out what that means. We do unfortunately have to head to a break before that, but after that, we've got Cloud9 facing off against Unitas. We'll be right back.
Fucking mythic. That does look kind of sick. That looks kind of fucking dope too, actually. That actually looks so fucking dope on the cow. What? That looks kind of fucking sick too, actually. But I never got the shoulders. DZ. Oh, that's what I got. Okay. Alright, what else do I have that might look good? No. 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 Hell no. This one looks good on human, but not on the cow. It looks fucking really bad on the cow, actually. This looks bad too. Yeah, those are all terrible. Fucking garbage. Holy shit. Oh. Dragon Soul, huh? So this will match a lot of different, I don't like the helmet, but the shoulders look kind of sick. No. Firelands. No, looks shitty.
And welcome back, everybody. Cloud9 versus.
This one always looks good.
Unitas Blue
I got that one though.
Very, very well so far here in this circuit. Cloud9 always have been consistent, always have been in that either 1 or 2.
That one looks good
position.
too.
Stupidties, what do you think's gonna happen here? Do you think Cloud9's gonna win, or is Unitas gonna prove themselves here against this team?
Well, I mean, Unitas said they had a surprise, right? And they've been playing mostly the Warrior Mage Paladin. So they said they were gonna. What were the words? Beat the meta or define the meta?
No, it's
Aren't they
like define the meta, make the meta, something like that.
But they're already playing the meta, though. They're already playing the meta, playing Warrior Mage Paladin.
Yeah,
so
they're gonna make a
maybe
new
they're
meta.
not gonna play
that
it.
means.
I think Born Good's a very mysterious man. I'll say that. Like, he always speaks in code and tongues and doesn't want to
trying to
reveal
throw
his
off
information.
Cloud9.
He could
trying
be.
to make-
Yeah.
Cloud9 play 2 comps. I feel like Cloud9 are gonna play Rogue Mage Druid.
Sunwell,
and
huh?
play Destro Mage Druid. I don't.
Actually, I heard that Chanimal has been practicing Affliction, so maybe we see Chanimal on Affliction.
There's no way he's playing
after this
Affliction.
discussion.
That face.
There's no way
You're
he's
not
playing
having this
Affliction.
discussion?
There's no way he's playing Affliction.
We're not having this discussion.
There's no way.
What does he say?
He's Affliction! No, he's not. 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 No, he's not.
Oh, they're making the meta, guys.
They're making the meta with the
The
meta.
same comp I'm playing in TBC Season 1, huh? Wow. That is wild that they're making the meta with
Not
this.
really making the meta.
That's what Born Good looks like? Holy shit, no wonder he puts his webcam on. Never.
That's not true. All right, here we go. Opener here on to Channel very early on. Looks like he'll be able to shrug that off quite easily and This is about as standard as it's going to get. Cloud9 playing their Frost Destro Mage Lock Druid. Unitas Blue locking in the
Destro. Oh, that was a big bolt.
And they're playing very aggressive right now, kind of throwing caution. Aiden might get punished in a big way. But he trinkets, he makes the trade. Look at the ice wall there. Morgan out of the polymorph needs to get out of line of sight of the wall, or in line of sight of the wall into Aiden. Does manage to do so. Aiden continues to push here on the channel as they continue their very aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, and Chan is going to use his stone form here. Nice overgrowth here onto Chan. He's going to demonic circle away. He should be completely fine with all those healing over time effects on him. Comes sitting through some CC. Nuke now double blinks forward. Dragon's Breath. Meteor.
Oh!
But Chanimal gets caught up in a kidney shot. Doesn't have his trigger for 10 seconds here. Gonna use his unending resolve.
Unending resolve.
Doesn't appear to be playing that smoke bomb here, so unfortunately we're not able to punish Chan harder right there. And now Aiden once again in trouble. No Cloak of Shadows. He's stuck in a full death coil here. Nice sacrifice coming up.
Big bolt, boom.
As well, so
God, dude.
here back and forth. Chanimal, no CDs.
That shield is so broken.
Vendetta, this could just be overwhelming damage for Cubsy to deal with. 2 seconds away from his Iron Bark, 1 second away.
Oh my God.
Buying time for Cubsy to recover through the Vendetta assault. Combustion's coming up pretty shortly. Likely Nuke wants to launch that as soon as possible, but they're getting intercepted. Born Good poly, Aiden stunned, Nuke stunned. Cubsy just stunning the universe at the moment. Aiden slowly making his way, trying to get the channel. Shadow Step, kidney shot. Are they going to go for the combustion? Tricks of the trade. We see Kevin, the ooze called in from Aiden's Covenant, so it's going to be adding quite a bit of damage here during their push if they want to go for the combustion with it, but Iron Bark is available, so they're trying to get crowd control, but Cubsy is just endlessly stunning everybody. Look at Cubsy everywhere. Stuns Born Good, then stuns Aiden. They get Divine Shield on that push from Born Good. I mean, Cubsy is absolutely just walking all over them at the moment in my mind.
Yeah, and we'll see right now what the man channel in the middle of the map, still just trying to go after Aiden. Born Good caught into a fear, and he has to be very careful. Can get punished for these aggressive plays. Combustion comes in. Channel taking a reasonable amount of damage, but Cubsy deflects there with the Iron Bark. Channel going to be using his portal to get out of the center of the map. Look for a Chaos Bolt. Gets interrupted. Aiden still just unrelenting. The full blind lands on Cubsy. Is he going to trinket? Chanimal allowing him to greed just a little bit, but Shadow Step, Garrote, potential Vendetta. It is the Vendetta on Chanimal, but he's just trying his best to just get away. A full kidney shot lands with that Vendetta, potentially devastating damage, but looks like Chanimal isn't even going to get scratched for the time being as they shrug off that assault from Unitas Blue.
Chanimal's just gonna walk off that Vendetta right there. And now he looks to get aggressive. They get a full sheep here on the Born Good. Wealthy Man with a big Shatter Flurry combo. There's the stun coming out now from Cubsy. Big here onto Aiden. Big Flurry combo. Another stun coming in. Born Good trinkets. Drops the sacrifice here.
Where's the Mallies?
Survive as a result. Close trade.
That's what I want to see on the. I want to see Mallies.
Big damage coming in here. We don't have Iron Bark. Cubsy's just full counter spell. That's going to be the Shackles as well. He's going to use the Stone Form and the Unending Resolve. Here is the Infernal's counter push coming in from Chanimal. Goes for the Fear, goes for the Chaos Bolt. Aiden flesh crafts it. They get a full sheep onto Born Good, Fear onto Nuke. The trinkets out of the first Fear. Gets re-feared. Wealthy Man going for another sheep. If Chanimal can get a full... Oh my
God.
Aiden's so low on HP here.
Dude, who killed him? Wealthy Man? Because Chanimal's in a kidney.
Gotta highlight it when Mage Lock is able to take you out that early. I mean, a lot of these games have been going 50+% damage.
It's fucking insane.
I really think Cubsy's ability to...
All right, let's get the webcam on that.
He was always on the opposite side of the map, and then re-stealthing whenever Born Good managed to get to his pillar, and stunning a target, bouncing to another target. Like, Cubsy just played a really solid game to avoid crowd control this whole time. I mean, this matchup looked quite threatening throughout. It's not every day you see Chanimal rotating through Unending Resolve multiple times this early on in a game. So definitely well played on the side of Cloud9. Wealthy Man deciding to be Frost in this matchup. I feel like he's been playing a lot of Fire with the Mage Lock recently, but deciding to go Frost instead. So you can see here, Born Good is chasing
I'm
Cubsy,
fat!
And that's kind of the name of the game. It's
Alright,
cat
I gotta put on a shirt if I'm gonna do
the
this.
mouse chasing the cat, I guess. And Cubsy just re-stealths, travel forms, goes to the other box. Born's Good's like, I'm gonna get to you, and then Cubsy's like, no, you're not, Fleshcraft, I'm immune. Get jokes on you, and now you're polyed. I'm gonna run over here. Good luck catching up to me, Born Good. Like, I'm just watching Cubsy, and Cubsy avoids all the CC, then goes in when it's safe, stuns Aiden, adds some extra damage with cat form, adds an extra stun as well, forcing Born Good to trade Trinket and Sacrifice, and now Born Good's in a Frost Nova, 80 yards away from Cubsy. Cubsy maintains heals on Chanimal while staying away from Born Good. Look at Born Good. He's trying to get across the map. He's Frost Nova'd again. Goes for his shackles to try and get Cubsy to come in range, but that's an easy double removal. And then Born Good gets feared half. Cubsy jumps in and stuns Aiden. I mean, Cubsy is just always there, just all the time there. And what do you know? Born Good's
I don't
on the
know
right
what I
side
just
of the map
did.
right now off screen. Cubsy's on the left side. Like, he's not letting Born Good get anywhere near him the entire game. And anytime he crosses the map, Wealthy Man's polying him. Chanimal's fearing him, and then they're just plowing down Aiden. So, I mean, this is just really well played from Cloud9. I would not want to be Unitas Blue in this matchup on a map bigger than this.
I feel like Unitas Blue, in a lot of ways, is playing into the strengths of Cloud9. Like, playing this really aggressive strategy is allowing Cubsy to not only really abuse how good he is at, you know, avoiding crowd control with his positioning, like you mentioned, but Wealthy Man and Chanimal also just spamming out fears and polys and catching Born Good when he crosses the map. So I feel like Born Good, Nuke, Aiden, Unitas Blue, right now they have the right composition, but they might need to slow it down just a little bit. Not play so aggressive. When you don't have the cooldowns, you can survive at the pillar for a really long time. And I think they just need to pick those moments to all in this match, because I don't know if they can force the issue. I'm not convinced just yet that they're going to be able to just run over Cloud9 in a few minutes. And with the way they're playing, they're going to have to, or you're going to see situations like we just saw.
I don't know if many people can run over Cloud9 in a few minutes.
No.
Most people don't even try. Most people just chill by the pillar.
Most people accept their fate.
Yeah. Most people, you know, they try to just wait for dampening and then push out, but usually they don't make it to that second part. So they, yeah. But Unitas Blue, they are, you know, that's what I like about Unitas. They're always such an aggressive team. They're always looking for early openings. They're always trying to find ways to win the game early on. And I mean, so far it's worked for them against Cloud9's and Mage Lock. I think it could work on this map, but, you know, when we inevitably go to the sands of Tolvir, I'm not as convinced. And I mean, even on hook point, it's going to be tough because we've seen what Cloud9 can do to teams, you know, offensively. It's not just about how well they live. It's about how well they set up. And like a lot of the time when they live, it's because they just make a triple CC happen and then they burst somebody down and they force you to run away.
You think we're going to Tolveron for this series?
Oh yeah, I think it
Unitas
might
wins
happen.
one of these?